Hello everyone, how are you today? I'm so excited. I know that you haven't heard from me in, has it been 3 years? I actually think it's almost 4 years. I think this upcoming December would be 4 years that it's been since I podcasted, which is crazy. I don't regret the things that kept me from podcasting, but I do regret not podcasting. I wish that I had more time. I wish that I didn't have to take the break that I did from podcasting, but I really had to focus on a lot of different things in my personal life, and I'll get into them a little bit. This podcast is definitely going to be like my grand re-entrance into Disney podcasting, and just kind of explaining to you guys where I've been and where, kind of like what my vision is for the future of this podcast and of this entity, of this, I don't know what to call it, this intellectual property that is the Diz Gamer. I want to do so many things with it. I want to take it so many places, and I really want to update you guys on everything. So hopefully you'll be patient with me. We're going to definitely be talking about a bunch of different things today, and I hope you'll also be patient with me because I haven't podcasted in 4 years, which means that all of my ums and ers and likes are back that I had mostly weaned myself off of back before I had to take my break. Just then I had to take a really long breath because I used to be able to talk for an extended period of time without needing any sort of water or breath, and now both of those things are gone because I haven't done this for a while. It's just like anything. When you fall out of practice with it, all of your bad habits come back, and then you have to practice it and get good at it again before those bad habits start to shake away. So hopefully you guys will be patient with me while I, clean out the cobwebs and dust myself off and get back into prime podcasting form in preparation for coming back for podcasting again. So, like I said, I've been gone for about 4 years. And for those of you who maybe this is the first time you've ever heard me podcast, I am Jasmine, the Diz Gamer. I'm a gamer girl who is obsessed with Disney, and I threw the two things together and said, let's do this. And I do have a YouTube channel, which will be in the description of my podcast, along with all of my social media. I'm at the Diz Gamer on all of the social media, which is super exciting. It's been a while since I've been able to get everything the same, but I have been able to. So you can find me at the Diz Gamer on Instagram, on Twitter. I do have a Facebook page. I think I have a Tumblr. If I do, it'll be down there. I don't use it, but feel free to follow me there if that's your social website of choice. I can become better at using Tumblr if it's something that you use a lot. I'm going to be real honest, you guys. I'm bad at social media, and I get Facebook from a personal standpoint, so that one I do okay at. Twitter, I don't get. I don't know how to, I know what Twitter is, I know how to use it. I just am bad, I think, at generating the kind of content that is interesting on Twitter. And then after Twitter, it's all downhill. I don't take many pictures because I don't do many exciting things. I'm a podcaster by trade. Well, I'm not a podcaster by trade. I would love to be one by trade. I'm an accountant by trade. So I don't take super interesting pictures. I don't travel a lot. I did just go to Vegas. So I can post some of my pictures from Vegas along with my boyfriend, and we'll talk about that in just a second too. But I can post some of those pictures because I did go to Vegas, and it was a lot of fun. We saw Postmodern Jukebox. Postmodern Jukebox, highly recommend. I'm not going to go off on a tangent, but they have done Disney music. I don't know, is there a way I'll link it on Twitter? I don't know, you guys. I don't know how to use social media. I'm so bad at it. I'll link some of Postmodern Jukebox's Disney music on the Facebook page. How's that? If I try hard enough, I can do this. I just have to, do it is all. So I will figure it out, I promise. But I've been gone for 4 years, and it's mostly because there was a lot going on in my life. Just prior to when I stopped podcasting, I had been in a car accident, which wasn't too bad for me physically. I did hurt myself, but it wasn't terrible. But it was much more like the financial fallout and stuff like that. It affected me mentally really badly, I had to move out of my apartment and move back in with my parents, and it was a whole situation. And then once I was back with my parents, I decided to refocus my mind on things like school, and school ended up taking up a lot of my time. And at work, very unexpectedly, because I don't think it was something that they had entirely planned for, my boss at the time quit very unexpectedly, and rather than hiring someone new, they gave me her old position and trained me into it, trained me-ish into it. And so that first year, really that first 2 years that I was in that position, there was a lot of staying late, a lot of stressing out, a lot of learning and growing. And between that and school and trying to recover from what had happened to me with my car accident and having to move, and dealing with a host of several of my family members had gotten sick or had things happen to them right at that time too. And it wasn't just me feeling like I needed to be taking care of my family, even though I did feel that way, but there was also I felt like I needed to spend as much time with my family as possible and really value them, because I wasn't sure how much time I was going to have left with some of them. My grandma ended up having, I'm not even entirely sure what happened to her. I don't think anyone knows, doctors included, what happened to her. She technically, there were 2 times while she was in the hospital that doctors were gather your family, bring everybody to say goodbye. And my grandma just did not want to go. I think fighter is even too, it's not a big enough word to describe her. She didn't want to go. She wanted to continue to talk to her cute nurse about her Harry Potter books with large print. So she stuck around. She's still here. She's doing much better. Doctors figured out what was wrong that had caused her body to stop, which is really what it did. It had enough. It was like, I'm done with you and what you've got going on. I'm done. I'm over it. And so it quit on her. Body.exe did not compute. It was over it. So between all of that stuff that was happening, I just couldn't do it anymore. I really, really wanted to. It was really the only thing in my life at that time that I truly enjoyed doing, and I wasn't able to do it. I didn't have the time between everything that was going on. The little bit of time I had left was for eating and sleeping and using the bathroom. That was it. So I had to, unfortunately, take a step back from podcasting, which did make me very sad, but I don't regret that I did that, because I have graduated, which is very exciting. I've graduated with my bachelor's degree in creative writing for entertainment, which is a very fitting degree for me. I met the love of my life, which is very exciting. A girl that I used to know in high school sent me a message on Facebook and said, hey, I know this is kind of weird because we haven't talked in a long time, but I work with this guy and I think that you guys would hit it off. Is it okay if I set you up? And I'm not one for being set up mostly, but I was just in a place in my life where I was like, what have I got to lose? And told her yeah. And she set us up, and we spent the restaurant that we planned to go to when we first met was closed forever. It was just Google hadn't updated the information, so the place that we picked was closed, and there was a Chipotle nearby. And I was like, want to go to this Chipotle? And he was like, okay. And we sat in that Chipotle for, it had to have been close to 5 hours and just talked. They had to sweep us out of the Chipotle. And then we went on our first official date that following weekend. We went out to eat, and we went and saw Ghost in the Shell at the movies, and it was delightful, and the rest is history. We live together now. We just hit 2 years on the 1st of April, and we celebrated our 2-year anniversary by going to Vegas. So I'll post pictures of our Vegas trip. He doesn't like taking selfies, unfortunately, which is unfortunate because he's very cute, but he's not a big selfie guy, and I don't force him to do it mostly. I do force him to do it sometimes, and he's always very accommodating of my desire for selfies. So I'll post some of our selfies on Instagram as well, so that you guys can just see a little bit about what's going on in my life right now. I still have the same job. It's not going great, but it's there. paying the bills. I'm also using my degree to do freelance work that is helping pay the bills as well. So in terms of like struggling financially, some of that stuff is starting to go away too. That stuff that was really stressing me out. And so that's nice too. My family is happy and healthy, and I no longer feel weighed down by financial stress and that kind of stuff. I really feel like I can finally, I'm gaining some freedom over my life again. I understand my job. I'm good at it. So I usually don't have to stay late, that kind of stuff, because I know what I'm doing and I don't have to. And I get my work done and I get it done well. So I don't have to stress about it and stay late anymore. And I graduated from high school. I did graduate from high school, but I also graduated from college. So discussion posts, homework, tests, studying, blah, 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 all of that stuff is a thing of the past for me as well, which is very exciting. So now I have a little bit of freedom left. And I was sitting at work the other day, and you guys know me, I'm obsessed with Disney, and I was having a really bad day. And I said, how can I improve my day? I know how I can improve my day. And I opened my phone and I went to my Disney Experience app, which if you don't have it, get it right now. Pause the podcast, go to the App Store and get the My Disney Experience app. It is technically for people who are like spending time in Disney World or Disneyland, but it's just a really cool app. There's like all sorts of things you can look at and see. You can see which attractions and rides and things like that are open, wait times and stuff like that. You can see stuff that's coming up. You can also buy tickets and stuff through you can't do whole packages, but like if you're a Florida resident and you just want to buy tickets for the park or buy tickets for reserve a restaurant or something like that, you can do all of that through the My Disney Experience app. So highly recommend it. It's just a fun app. I keep it on my phone all the time, even when I'm not going to Disney. So I opened the My Disney Experience app and I just started clicking through the parks, looking at the wait times and the attractions and stuff, really just trying to put myself in that space mentally, like just pretend you're in Disney World and everything will be okay. And then I started going through on YouTube and watching videos of the different rides and attractions on YouTube. And you guys, Disney just makes me feel good. And I know you guys are probably like, no duh, that's why you're the Diz Gamer, that's why you do the things, but I just like listening to the different Disney rides on I have a tablet that I keep at work so I can listen to and watch things while I'm working, and just having that there, like hearing the Disney music and like hearing the announcers and hearing the different Disney characters and even weird stuff like just hearing the hustle and bustle of the parks and things like that, it just put me in such a good space. And I realized that Disney needs to be a daily part of my life again. It needs to be something that which Disney is a daily part of my life. I mean, it's like, hello, Panchito pin in my car and my Mickey Mouse lunch bag and my Pocahontas purse, my Walt Disney World phone case. Disney is a daily part of my day, make no mistake, but I used to podcast every day, and the days that I wasn't podcasting, I was doing research for the next podcast and immersing myself in what Disney has going on and what they have coming up and all of that stuff. And I kind of stopped doing that because of all this stuff that was going on in my life. And when I stopped podcasting, I also stopped doing all of that stuff where I was immersing myself in Disney on a daily basis. And I need to be doing that again because that stuff just makes me feel good. It makes me happy. So while I was watching all of these videos and realizing like, oh my gosh, this stuff just makes me feel so happy, I realized I need to get back into podcasting. I have the freedom to do it now. I need to do it. And so I got into my car and I podcasted the whole way home, and that podcast was very clunky, so I did not keep it. I decided that I would re-record, take some of the ideas from that original podcast and give us a round two, which is what I'm recording right now for you guys, because I want to make sure that I'm just really, really giving you guys the full excitement of how I feel about coming back and about doing Disney again. So as for the podcast is the number one thing that's coming back with a vengeance. It's coming back with flying colors. It's coming back with a purpose and a reason, because I'm so excited about being able to podcast again. The gaming channel will return. That's all I can say for right now. I don't really have a proper setup at my house currently for the gaming channel. We have a space that I can convert into a gaming space. I just have to do it, and it's what is currently our guest bedroom, and it can remain our guest bedroom, but I can still put like a desk and stuff in there. I just have to get that equipment, and I have to get that stuff set up. So the gaming channel is curbed currently, but will come back, I promise. The 10th anniversary of Minecraft just passed like 2 or 3 days ago, and which means that the 5-year anniversary of the first Discraft video that I ever posted just passed as well, because I posted them on the same day 5 years apart. And so I really want to bring Discraft back. You guys really liked that series, and I liked that you liked that series. I liked that series. Being able to play Minecraft and sprinkle in Disney is fun. So I don't know if I'll continue to use my existing Discraft world. I do still have it, but I don't know if I'll continue to use it, if I'll do some other things with it, because I think that my former Discraft world was in 1.7.10, and we're in like 1.14 with Minecraft now. So I definitely want to be able to do some updated stuff. I want to use some cool mods to make things more fun, and I still have to tinker with the concept for it, because the idea of doing Disney builds was fun, but it took the adventure aspect out of it, and I really want to merge kind of that first concept I had when I posted Discraft for the first time on using Minecraft Mobile, and the concept that I had when I finally had a PC that supported the full game and posted the computer version of Minecraft. So I want to merge those two things, where there's some building to it, there's some adventuring to it, there's a lot of fun. I also need to determine what other kinds of series I want to do, because I had at one point said that I was only going to do Disney games, but I think that's very restrictive. I think what I would rather do is find a variety of games, whether or not they be Disney, and bring Disney to them, because that's what Disney's all about. It's about adding Disney to things that don't currently have Disney magic in them, at least for me. So yes, the podcast coming back full force, gaming channel it's on deck, it's in the tunnel. The blog, I did have a blog. The problem with the blog is that A, it requires a lot of time and maintenance that I just don't have right now, and B, it felt odd putting into blog form things that I was already telling you in my podcast. So I do occasionally want to write things for you guys, like, my top 10 2019 suggestions for Walt Disney World, or 5 new movies you have to see, or things like that. But I think I will use one of my social media websites, probably Facebook, to bring you that kind of content. And the blog is something that will either not return or return only once the podcast and the gaming channel are in full force, and everything's going all together, and they need a communal location. And that's very down the road. So those are the 3 branches of the Diz Gamer that I have, and that's kind of their status. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. I can't wait to start doing this again, because you guys, so much Disney stuff has happened. So much Disney stuff has happened in the last 4 years, and we need to discuss it. We need to discuss all of it. There have been Incredible 2s and Toy Story Lands and freaking Galaxy's Edge open in Disneyland in California, and all this stuff. You guys, it must be discussed. So I'm very excited about it. As you can tell, I'm very excited about it. I'm going to go on ahead and end the podcast here. Thank you guys for letting me just do a little garbage can of topics for you today. I promise the next podcast will be more directed, and I will be a little more organized. I'll still probably have this errant excitement, however, so I apologize in advance if I still sound a little all over the place for the next few podcasts, because I'm excited. I am very excited to say, for the first time in 4 years, to remember that you are beautiful and you are loved. I hope that you have a magical day, and I will talk to you next time. Bye!